tables. Honey, can you pass?
So, Trump just praised Venezuela's leadership. What's the deal with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want to take leadership advice from a country that's the poster child for how not to run an economy? It's like taking cooking tips from a chef whose specialty is burning water. He claims the citizens are happier, probably because they finally found a way to replace their daily bread with a dose of complete absurdity. I guess when the oil wells are flowing, the people are too, right? It's like saying I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. But in this case, it's more like I see oil and suddenly forget I can't eat or afford pasta. It's a real head-scratcher.
Has Trump's opinion stirred any reactions or outrage?
Oh, you bet. It's like tossing a hot potato at a picnic. You know something's going to explode. While some folks are rolling their eyes so hard they might just see the back of their own heads, others are probably contemplating how to send him a gift basket filled with Venezuelan survival kits. I can only imagine the conversations at dinner tables. Honey, can you pass the potatoes? And by the way, did you hear the latest from our favorite former president?
Is it really possible that people in Venezuela are happy despite the economic chaos?
Well, I suppose happiness is all relative, much like trying to be cheerful while waiting in a DMV line. Perhaps they're just grateful for the little things, like finding a can of beans that doesn't have a gourmet price tag. I mean, when your options are limited to either a joyful heart or a rock in your pocket, you do what you must. It's like saying at least the power's on today. For now. It's all about perspective, folks.
Does Trump think oil companies can truly save Venezuela?
Oh sure, because nothing screams stability like putting your faith in oil companies that can't seem to keep a leaky faucet from dripping. It's like asking a toddler to clean up after a birthday party. They'll just make things messier. You can almost hear him saying, "Trust me, they'll build a new Venezuela with the same finesse a kid uses to build a Lego tower, only for it to collapse the moment someone walks by." Maybe he's hoping for a miracle, a resurgence akin to finding Wi-Fi in the wilderness.
So, what's the takeaway from Trump's comments?
Well, it's a classic case of let's ignore reality and bask in the glow of my unprecedented charm. The takeaway? Well, we might as well start drafting a new reality show. Keeping Up with the Caracas Kardashians, all drama, no plot. While some might be taking his words to heart, others are probably chuckling at how you can spin golden rhetoric from straw policies. It's like someone trying to sell you a bridge, and you just stand there saying, "Look, I just need to get to the other side without falling in a swamp."
Any predictions on how this might affect international relations?
Oh, it's bound to make things awkward at the next international summit, like showing up to a black tie event in flip-flops. I can just picture the other world leaders giving each other those awkward side eyes like, "Did he really just say that?" Expect some eyebrow-raising memes to flood social media faster than you can say, "Oil boom." It's a diplomatic game of hot potato where everyone's wondering who's going to drop it first. And spoiler alert, it certainly won't be Trump.
So, Trump is suggesting deploying an aircraft carrier to Cuba after the Iran crisis. What do you think about this bold plan?
Oh, absolutely. Because nothing says international relations like sending a massive floating fortress to liberate a nation like Cuba. I mean, why not just drop a giant "congratulations, you're free" banner from the skies while we're at it? The USS Abraham Lincoln is basically the world's biggest inflatable pool floaty. Great for soaking up the sun but a little excessive for a rescue mission. And let's not forget, Trump has scored a whopping 94% of the Cuban-American vote, which must mean he's an expert on all things tropical, right? Or is it just that he thinks liberation is code for a really intense beach party?
Do you think the U.S. military presence in Cuba is really needed right now?
Oh, of course. Because when I think of effective diplomatic solutions, I immediately picture a fleet of aircraft carriers gallivanting through the Caribbean like it's a spring break bender. I can just see the Cubans waving flags, welcoming Uncle Sam with open arms and cool drinks. Forget years of negotiations and subtle diplomatic strategies. Let's just park a battleship off their coast and see how they feel about it. It's like bringing a bulldozer to a poetry reading, sure to go over well.
What do you make of Trump's comments about Cuba being devastated?
Well, aren't we all just devastated emotionally and otherwise? I mean, when Trump talks about devastation, it makes me wonder if he's just trying to win the most dramatic statement of the year award. The man could probably trip over a pebble and declare the entire sidewalk a disaster zone. But yes, Cuba's got its challenges, and while they're certainly significant, I doubt a carrier strike group is on any of their to-do lists for recovery. Maybe a good Wi-Fi connection and some Netflix recommendations would be a better start?
Can you elaborate on the significance of him claiming responsibility due to his voter base?
Oh, absolutely. Because nothing screams I care about the people, like saying you're taking actions based solely on a popularity contest. It's like a kid in a candy store, claiming he'll buy all the sweets just because he's the most popular kid in school. Look at me. I'm the king of the jungle. But doing something for political gain doesn't exactly scream selfless leader. It's more like playing Monopoly and declaring bankruptcy while still trying to steal all the properties.
What's your take on the phrase liberate when it comes to U.S. involvement in foreign countries?
Oh, liberate is such a fantastic buzzword, isn't it? It's like that friend who always says they're just trying to help, while simultaneously rearranging your entire house and eating your snacks. It's the perfect term for dressing up a military intervention with a shiny bow. I can just picture it now. We're here to liberate you. And take a few selfies while we're at it. Because who wouldn't want to trade their sovereign peace for an Instagram moment with a military giant making a cameo?
Last thoughts. What do you predict will happen if this plan goes through?
Oh, if this actually happens, it'll be like watching a reality TV show where the plot twists get wilder with every episode. Expect a season finale filled with chaos, Cubans possibly shaking their heads in disbelief, and media hype aplenty. You know, just another Tuesday in geopolitics. Meanwhile, Trump will bask in the glory of his victory, yelling "I told you so," like he's also discovering fire. Let's just hope that at least someone remembers to bring snacks. I mean, war or liberation. You have to keep the troops happy, right?
So, Trump is basically warning that Iran's oil infrastructure could collapse. What's your take on that?
Yes, Trump is like your overly dramatic friend who thinks forgetting to water his plants will lead to a full-on desert apocalypse. He's saying that if we keep poking the bear, or should I say, the oil rig, the whole place might just blow up like a bad science experiment gone wrong. It's like saying, hey, if you mess with that oil, it'll be like trying to play Jenga in an earthquake. Just when you think you've got a solid tower, boom, total chaos. And let's be realistic, we all know once that oil starts bubbling, it's not just a financial disaster. It's a let's call in the hazmat team kind of day.
What do you think about the idea of using a soft approach with Iran instead of the all-out strategy?
Going for a soft approach with Iran is like trying to whisper sweet nothings to a lion while holding a steak. Good luck with that. It's like trying to convince a toddler that taking a nap is a fantastic idea while they're eyeing an ice cream cone. Sure, it sounds nice, but let's face it, Iran isn't sending us thank you cards anytime soon. Softness might entice them to play nice for a day, but we all know it won't last. So, would you rather play nice and hope they don't devour your arm, or take a firm stand and enjoy your ice cream in peace? Decisions. Decisions.
Trump mentioned the risk of catastrophic failures in the oil extracting systems. How does that play into the larger picture?
Oh, catastrophic failures in oil extraction systems? That's just a Tuesday for them, isn't it? It's like the oil rigs have a secret agenda to throw an explosive tantrum whenever there's tension. You know? It's like when you promise yourself you won't eat the last slice of pizza, but then you show up at the party and, surprise, the slice is gone. The bigger picture here is that a little hiccup could turn into an all-you-can-eat buffet of chaos and disasters for everyone involved. The oil market is basically a soap opera, and right now, it's gearing up for a dramatic season finale.
Do you think that if Iran's oil supply is disrupted, it could lead to a global economic crisis?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine the oil market as this delicate ecosystem, like a house of cards. One little shake, and suddenly you're looking at a full-blown economic tornado. If they lose their oil supply, it's not just Iran throwing a temper tantrum. It's the whole world saying, "Oops, there goes my gas price." Just picture it. Your favorite gas station trying to charge you a mortgage for a gallon of gas. That's when the real panic sets in, when people start hoarding gas like it's the last pack of toilet paper during a pandemic. The global economy would go from smooth sailing to a Titanic scene faster than you can say, "Where's my oil?"
Is there a real possibility of a military conflict escalating from this situation?
I mean, if you look at the history books, it's basically written in neon flashing lights. Mess with oil, and you better brace yourself for potential fireworks. It's like poking a wasp nest with a stick and expecting the wasps to invite you to a garden party. Naive at best. The chances of a military conflict are as high as my excitement level when I see free food. So yes, we could end up with tanks rolling in, jet planes zooming overhead, and a lot of oops, we did it again moments. And let's face it, nobody looks good in camo, especially when it's on a world stage.
What do you think would happen if the oil infrastructure really does face a collapse?
If the Iranian oil infrastructure collapses, it'll be like the world just got hit with an unexpected plot twist in a badly written movie. Picture this: gas prices skyrocketing, while we're all left staring at our credit cards, contemplating whether we can afford a trip to the grocery store. It'd be like a bad fever dream where everyone decides to start trading toilet paper for a gallon of gas. Not to mention, countries would start pointing fingers like it's a game of blame bingo. Meanwhile, while everyone's stressing out, I'll just be here, making popcorn and watching the chaos unfold. Because that's what we do these days, right? Grab our snacks and sit back for the show.
So, the Russian FSB has arrested a Donetsk resident for treason after he revealed military secrets to Ukrainian intelligence. Can you believe it?
Oh, absolutely. Because nothing says, "Thank you for my service," quite like turning in your own military secrets. It's like a spy thriller, but with less glamour and more bureaucracy. This guy must have thought he's auditioning for a role as a secret agent, but spoiler alert, he got cast in the drama Caught Red-Handed. Imagine the FSB's reaction when they found out he was just a well-meaning healthcare worker. It's like finding out your favorite cake recipe is just a box mix.
What do you think motivated this healthcare worker to contact Ukrainian intelligence?
Motivation? It could be a classic case of seeing the writing on the wall, or the cannons on the battlefield. Maybe he thought sharing troop locations was a community service? You know, helping out your neighbors like it's a block party, but instead of cupcakes, you've got artillery shells. Or perhaps he mistook duty to country for duty to the coolest text thread. Either way, it makes you wonder if he's just trying to earn some extra karma points.
The FSB claims he also reported on hospitalized patients post-shelling. Is that a new form of intelligence gathering?
Well, you know what they say? A little bit of gossip goes a long way. Reporting on injured soldiers is like a real-life episode of The Real Housewives of Kartzisk. Everyone's spilling tea, and no one's got any secrets left. I can just imagine him at the hospital, clipboard in hand, casually throwing in, "Oh, and by the way, the guys from Unit 4? Yeah, they're all getting bed rest and soup. But let's keep that between us, ladies. It's tactical espionage meets daytime drama."
What are the implications of this arrest for military morale?
Implications? Well, morale is going to plummet faster than a lead balloon at a balloon convention. Imagine being a soldier who finds out the guy in scrubs next door is basically a Yelp reviewer for your military operations. It's like learning your dentist is secretly telling your rivals how bad your dental hygiene is. I mean, trust just took a nosedive. Now, every hospital visit feels like an episode of Survivor. Military Edition. Who can trust? Who when you're worried about your secrets leaking out like last year's fashion?
How does this situation reflect on the current state of espionage?
Oh, it's a real circus out there. Espionage these days has turned into a high-stakes game of who wants to be a millionaire. Except instead of cash prizes, it's all about keeping your life and your secrets intact. I mean, you've got spies who can't even keep their lunch orders secret. This guy probably thought he'd be on the cover of GQ. Intelligence Edition, but ended up more like caught on CCTV, the unintentional informant. Honestly, if this is the state of espionage, we might as well start giving out participation trophies.
What's the public's reaction to this arrest in Russia?
Well, you know the old saying, there's no bad publicity. Except in this case, everyone's probably shaking their heads like they just witnessed a toddler trying to ride a unicycle. "Oh look, another traitor," they say, while quietly wondering if their neighbor is plotting a betrayal over the fence. The public's reaction is like watching a soap opera unfold in real time. Mixed emotions, some popcorn, and a whole lot of disbelief. It's just a small-town drama, but with heavy artillery and a lot less romance.
So, it seems that Iran's oil reserves might actually hold more than we thought, defying predictions of a quick production decline. What's your take on that?
Oh, absolutely. It's like saying your refrigerator is empty, when in reality, it's just jam-packed with leftover takeout from the last 5 months. Iran's oil reserves are like that reluctant teenager who claims they're too tired to clean their room, but manages to fill their closet with treasures from the last 3 years. They might be producing less now, but let's not kid ourselves. They've got enough oil stashed away to make an oil spill look like a slip on a banana peel. So, if production drops, it's not a crisis. It's like putting a pause on a Netflix binge. It's just a temporary break until they find a way to bring the drama back.
You mentioned the historical context, particularly during Trump's first term, when their production hit below 2 million barrels a day. Why do you think this situation has changed now?
Well, it's like watching a soap opera. The plot twists just keep coming. Back then, Iran's oil producers were on a roller coaster ride complete with steep drops and loop-de-loops as their exports did a vanishing act. Now, however, it's as if they've decided to throw caution to the wind and produce just enough oil for their own backyard barbecues. Imagine saying, "Forget the world, we'll keep the oil for ourselves." It's a savvy move, but it's also like hoarding snacks during a movie night. Sure, it might last you, but if you don't share, the rest of the world just might get a little cranky.
What about the potential for exports? It seems like it might be tricky, especially with U.S. naval blockades. How does that factor into their production?
Ah, yes, the classic cat and mouse game of international relations. It's like trying to sneak cookies past a parent. If you can dodge the watchful eyes of the US Navy, then sure, you might just get your oil where it needs to go. But with Iran, it's a delicate dance. They could stash more oil on ships, like they're hoarding toilet paper during a pandemic. If they can maneuver around those blockades, production might just coast along, like a lazy river ride. But if not, well, it's like trying to swim upstream wearing cement shoes. Spoiler alert, not fun.
There's talk about how they might maintain production, even with exports potentially dropping to zero. Is that realistic?
Realistic? That's quite the word. It's like claiming you'll still have fun on a road trip without a car, technically possible. But good luck with that. Iran can strut around and keep production levels steady like a peacock in a suit. But if the exports aren't flowing, it's like having a party with nobody showing up. They might keep churning out oil, but nobody's going to be dancing without the international buyers in attendance. So yes, they could keep a steady flow, but it might be more of a let's enjoy our own oil party kind of situation, rather than a global oil extravaganza.
With these potential scenarios, how do you think the global oil market is reacting to this news?
Oh, the global oil market is reacting like a toddler who's just had their favorite toy taken away. Lots of whining and uncertainty. As soon as news like this breaks, it's like throwing a rock into a calm pond. Instant ripples of speculation, panic, and a touch of excitement. Investors are looking at Iran's reserves like they're examining a treasure map, trying to figure out if it's worth the risk, or if they should just call it a day and invest in something safer, like potato chips. At the end of the day, it's a waiting game. Who will get the last laugh? Spoiler alert. Probably not the people who forget to diversify their portfolios.
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add about Iran's oil situation and how it impacts global energy politics?
Oh, absolutely. This whole situation could make an excellent screenplay for an international thriller. Picture it, a plot filled with clandestine meetings, surprise oil deals, and some naval ships that really don't want to be there. Iran's oil reserves could impact everything from gas prices to global politics faster than you can say pipeline. The geopolitical chess game is always in play, and Iran's reserves could either be the trump card or the joker in the deck. It just goes to show that when it comes to oil, everyone's in the game. But sometimes it feels more like a game of Monopoly where someone always flips the board over when they're losing.
So, Japan Airlines is planning to test humanoid robots for baggage handling due to a staff shortage and a surge in tourists. What do you think of this futuristic approach?
Well, isn't that just the cherry blossom on top of the sushi? We've officially entered an era where robots are not just serving us all coffee but are also pitching in to haul our oversized suitcases, filled with clothes we'll never wear. I mean, who needs human warmth when you can have a cold, unfeeling robot fumbling with your luggage? If they start trying to comfort you after a flight delay, we might as well buy them a drink.
Do you think the robots will actually be effective?
Oh, absolutely. I can already see them trying to figure out how to stack bags while having an existential crisis about their purpose in life. Imagine a robot throwing its metallic hands up in despair after dropping your precious baggage. Sorry, Dave, I was programmed to prioritize efficiency, not empathy. It's like having a teenager as your baggage handler. They'll do the job, but you might want to check for some dents and scratches.
What are the potential downsides of using robots for such tasks?
Oh, where do I start? First of all, have you seen how clumsy humans can be? Now imagine a robot trying to outdo them with its own brand of chaos. Plus, Let's not forget about the heartwarming possibility of a rogue robot going AWOL and mistaking your luggage for its long-lost twin. One moment you're at the baggage claim, and the next, you've accidentally adopted a new life as a robot's sidekick on a bizarre adventure.
What do you think the reaction from passengers will be?
I can already picture the scene. A confused tourist staring at a humanoid robot trying to give them directions. "Excuse me, can you tell me where gate 9 is?" And the robot just bobs its head, like it's on a bad sitcom. You'll see passengers discussing it like it's the latest hot gossip. "Did you hear? The robot at baggage claim told me to wait 5 minutes. Do you think it has a sense of time or it just doesn't care?" Spoiler alert, it definitely doesn't care.
Is there any chance these robots could replace human workers?
Oh sure. Let's just replace all humans with robots and turn airports into sci-fi horror movies where the machines take over, and we're left running around like headless chickens. But jokes aside, it's a classic case of, let's take the easy route and ignore the fact that humans can actually make decisions. I mean, can you imagine a robot empathizing when a passenger is having a meltdown because their luggage went to Hawaii while they went to a business meeting in Chicago?
Yeah, good luck with that.
In your opinion, what might be the best use of these humanoid robots in airports?
Honestly, they should be programmed solely to deal with the airport's Wi-Fi issues, because that's the real crisis here. Imagine a robot marching up to you and saying, "Sorry for the inconvenience. Please hold while I reset the Wi-Fi." That's the kind of service we need. Meanwhile, let's keep the humanoid robots far from the baggage claim. I prefer my luggage not to be on a journey of self-discovery.
So, let's talk about those C-710A Globemaster III planes landing in Beijing. What do you make of this situation ahead of the president's visit?
Well, isn't that just peachy? It looks like the US military decided to roll out the red carpet. Or should I say the blue runway? I mean, nothing screams friendly visit like bringing in military transport planes packed with equipment. It's like showing up to a dinner party with an army tank and saying, "Don't worry, I'm just here to help with the dishes." I guess it's one way to remind the host who's boss before you even walk through the door.
What do you think the intention behind this military show-off is?
Ah, yes, the classics flex muscles maneuver. It's basically like trying to impress someone at the gym by lifting weights that are clearly way too heavy for you. The intention? It's as subtle as a marching band in a library. They want to send a message for sure. "Hey, China, we're here with our big toys." It's all fun and games until someone breaks a geopolitical window, and then it's just a mess of shards and diplomatic tension.
How do you think the Chinese government is responding to this?
Oh, they're probably sitting there sipping tea, trying to mask their caffeine-fueled anxiety. I mean, can you blame them? It's like someone showing up uninvited to your barbecue with a whole grill and the latest barbecue recipes. You can bet there's a lot of simultaneous eye-rolling and preparing of sternly worded letters happening. The government will probably hold an emergency meeting, or 2, or 5. They might even form a task force, because nothing says, "We're not worried," like a room full of officials sweating under the pressure of a diplomatic crisis.
What might the implications be for US-China relations after this unfolding event?
Oh, the implications? Imagine 2 cats in a room, each one trying to outdo the other with increasingly ridiculous displays of authority. Relationships like this remind me of a sitcom where every episode ends in the characters shouting at each other, but somehow still making plans for brunch next week. Sure, there may be a lot of hissing and scratching at first, but it'll all boil down to who can bring the best dumplings to the table. So, will they hash it out over a diplomatic dinner, or throw their napkins in the air and declare a food fight? Now that's the real question.
What advice would you give to Americans trying to make sense of all this media coverage?
Oh boy, my dear listeners, grab your emotional support snack and prepare for a bumpy ride. My advice is simple. Approach it like a buffet. Take a little bit from every dish, but don't overindulge in the spicy conspiracy theories. It's like trying to interpret abstract art. Everyone's got their own take, but in the end, you're just left confused and slightly hungry for clarity. So, keep your wits about you, have a good laugh at the chaos, and remember that the news is just the world's loudest soap opera. Lots of drama, questionable plot twists, and maybe some cliffhangers that will keep you tuning in next week.
Finally, what's your prediction for the president's actual visit after all this hype?
Oh, the visit. If it goes off without a hitch, it'll be the political version of a cat successfully landing on its feet after a fall. Impressive, yet slightly unbelievable. But if things go south, we could witness a spectacle akin to a toddler attempting to navigate a birthday party full of balloons, lots of excitement, some unexpected pops, and a potential meltdown. So, my prediction? Bring popcorn, folks. It's going to be a show. And I have a feeling it might just be the season finale of As the World Turns. Diplomatic edition.
So, the Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine has reported widespread attacks on railway infrastructure. What's the latest scoop on that?
Oh, just your typical day in Ukraine, where trains are now playing hide-and-seek with missiles. It's like a game of Who Wants to Be a Train? Except the prize is getting blown off the tracks. Kuleba has this charming way of keeping us in the loop about the latest infrastructure drama, as if the railways were a soap opera, and every episode features a new villain. Today, it's rocket fire. I mean, who needs theme parks when you can have train rides filled with adrenaline, right?
How are these attacks affecting daily life in Ukraine?
Well, let's just say that commuting has officially joined the extreme sports category. It's not just about getting from point A to point B anymore. It's more like dodge the missiles and hope for the best. People are probably starting to reconsider those "train travel is awesome" Instagram posts. I imagine everyone at the station is now asking, is this train on time, or just practicing for its next near-death experience? If railways had feelings, they'd be screaming by now.
Is there any silver lining to these attacks on the railways?
Oh, absolutely. If you squint hard enough through the smoke and chaos, you could argue this is a great opportunity for the local bicycle industry. When in doubt, pedal. Plus, if you're into train spotting, this is the most thrilling season finale ever. With bonus coverage of Impact Zone, where the rails meet reality. But seriously, the real silver lining is that it keeps everyone on their toes. Perhaps we should all take up interpretive dance just to express our feelings about transport these days.
What measures are being taken to protect the railways?
Ah, yes. Because a slightly used train is such a hot commodity in war zones. Measures? Just a whole lot of duck and cover drills. With an emphasis on running faster than your neighbor when the sirens start blaring. The government might be devising plans that involve a lot of wishful thinking and prayers. That's right, folks. When life gives you war, you just pray harder and stick a few more soldiers around the train stations. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. But hey, it's the thought that counts.
What's been the public reaction to the news of these attacks?
Oh, you can just feel the optimism in the air. People are responding just like you'd expect, with a cocktail of disbelief, frustration, and maybe a side of, oh great, just what we needed. It's like a bad sequel to a movie nobody wanted. Social media is ablaze with memes and sarcastic comments that say everything from "I didn't sign up for this roller coaster ride" to "You call that a train? My grandma's old bicycle is doing better. If there were a world record for most sarcasm in the face of adversity, Ukraine would definitely take home the gold.
What should we be watching for next in this developing story?
Ah, the million-dollar question. Grab your popcorn, because this is just the first act of a tragedy that might even put Shakespeare to shame. Keep an eye on how many more innovative methods they come up with to protect the railways. Perhaps next, they'll start using inflatable barricades or train safety clowns. You know, because nothing says security like a honking red nose in the middle of a battlefield. In all seriousness, we should watch for international reactions that'll probably be less helpful than a chocolate teapot, and see if any other countries decide to jump in on the train rescue mission.
So, Ukraine launches a missile attack on Cheboksary, Russia, and suddenly we're on the edge of our seats. What's the latest scoop on this escalating tension?
Well, you know, just your typical Tuesday in the world of geopolitics. I mean, who doesn't love a good missile surprise party? Ukraine's decided that Cheboksary needed a wake-up call, and nothing says good morning quite like a flying piece of metal. This basically sends the message that while some folks are enjoying their tea and crumpets, others are launching projectiles like it's the Olympic Games. Honestly, at this point, I half expect a friendly competition where each country tries to outdo the other in missile creativity, like a twisted version of a bake-off.
With tensions rising, do you think this is going to lead to any significant changes in the conflict, or is it just more smoke and mirrors?
Oh, you bet. It's like a soap opera where the plot twists just keep coming. Every new missile launch brings a fresh batch of popcorn-worthy drama. While we sit here like couch potatoes, the leaders are basically playing chess with real missiles, except, surprise, it's not a game. But hey, if it makes for great headlines, who cares about the consequences, right? This whole situation is like watching a very high-stakes game of Jenga. One wrong move, and the whole tower could topple, and we're all just hoping it doesn't land on us.
Do you see any potential for diplomatic negotiations coming out of this missile fiasco, or are we just spiraling into chaos?
Oh, diplomatic negotiations. That's cute. It's like hoping for a unicorn to come out and fix everything. We all know that when missiles start flying, the chances of a civil chat over coffee decline faster than my motivation to exercise. It's more likely that we'll see a bunch of leaders make grandstanding speeches that sound fancy but are about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time a missile attack ended with everyone holding hands and singing Kumbaya?
How do you think the rest of the world is reacting to this incident? And is there any chance of a united front against this conflict?
Oh, the rest of the world is watching this drama unfold like it's the latest season of a Netflix thriller. Some countries might wear the "We Condemn Violence" shirt, while others are probably thinking about how to cash in on the situation. A united front? Ha! That would be like trying to herd cats during a thunderstorm. Everyone has their own agendas, and while some might want to slap sanctions, others are just making sure they've got their popcorn ready for the next episode. So, stay tuned, folks.
What about the impact on the civilians in these regions? Is anyone even thinking about them during all this chaos?
Ah, yes, the civilians. Those lovely people who get caught in the middle of this geopolitical circus like a squirrel in traffic. While world leaders are throwing tantrums like toddlers denied their chocolate, it's the everyday folks who are just trying to get by. It's like trying to enjoy a barbecue while the grill is exploding next door. So, while they're busy strategizing and flexing their muscles, let's not forget that for civilians, this is not a game. It's their lives, And that's the real heart-wrenching punchline.
So, Ukraine just launched a cruise missile strike on a Russian satellite module factory. What's your take on that?
Well, nothing says good morning like waking up to the sound of cruise missiles flying overhead, huh? It's like a dramatic episode of a soap opera that you never asked to watch, but here we are. I mean, targeting a satellite factory is like aiming a water gun at a shark. It's ambitious, slightly intimidating, and you might just end up with a bigger problem than you bargained for. Talk about cranking up those geopolitical tensions. It's as though someone hit the escalate button on the world stage and forgot to take their finger off. I half expect a news anchor in a hard hat to report this as breaking news with a side of popcorn.
What does this say about the current situation between Ukraine and Russia?
Oh, just the usual high-stakes game of geopolitical chess where each player throws in their wild card. Only this time, it's not just the rooks and bishops that are on the board. It's missiles and espionage. It's like watching toddlers play catch with a grenade. Honestly, at this point, they should just offer live streaming of their meetings on a web platform. And we can all grab our popcorn and watch the drama unfold. Seriously. One wrong move and it could very well turn into the world's most expensive reality show. Keeping up with the Eastern Bloc. Spoiler alert. Nobody wins.
What are the implications of Ukraine hitting a production facility like this?
The implications are juicy, aren't they? Imagine hitting a factory that makes the rockets they launch at you. It's like tossing a pie at the chef while he's in the middle of whipping up your favorite dessert. You're bound to get some flying cream in the face. This definitely sends a signal that Ukraine isn't just getting cozy in the corner and knitting. They're out there playing the game like it's their personal brand of dodgeball. It could rattle the Russian military's confidence like a toddler in a room full of expensive vases. They might just rethink their strategy after this one, or at least invest in some reinforced walls.
How do you think this will affect the morale on both sides?
Oh, morale, the ever-elusive butterfly of warfare. On one side, you've got Ukraine feeling like they just scored a hat trick in the World Cup, while on the other, Russia's probably feeling like they just checked their bank account after a wild night out. Shocked and slightly regretting their decisions. You know how it goes. One side pops the champagne, while the other side searches for the nearest comfort food. Not to mention the memes that are going to spring up from this incident. You can bet the internet will take this and run with it faster than a kid at a candy store. Bottom line, it's a morale roller coaster that no one signed up for, but hey, at least it's not boring.
What's the potential for further escalation after something like this?
Oh, the potential is about as high as my blood pressure during tax season. It's like handing someone a lit firecracker and then asking them to hold on to it while you go grab a soda. You just know someone's going to get burned. This sort of thing typically prompts retaliatory measures, like a bad game of who can shout louder. It's a dangerous dance, folks. Picture a tango where one misstep could send the whole world reeling into chaos. The stakes are so high, you'd think they were auditioning for a reality show titled Dancing with the Nuclear Option. Just when you think it can't get more dramatic, they throw in a plot twist worthy of a soap opera finale.
Final thoughts on this incident?
Final thoughts? Buckle up, my friend. It's going to be a wild ride, like a roller coaster designed by a 5-year-old on a sugar high. Apocalyptic predictions might just start rolling in like unsolicited emails on a Monday morning. The world is on high alert status, which is basically an international hold my beer moment. History has taught us that when it comes to military strikes, it's like pushing a giant angry panda. You might just awaken the beast. So, keep your helmets on and your popcorn ready, because the show is just getting started, and nobody knows how it will end.
So, we just heard about this U.S. airstrike that took out 2 suspected drug smugglers in the Caribbean. What's the deal with this operation?
Ah, yes, the US airstrike that's raising eyebrows like they just saw an unflattering selfie. Apparently, the military decided that blowing up boats was a better alternative to, actually gathering evidence or conducting a proper investigation. I mean, who doesn't love a little aerial bombardment instead of tedious legalities? And let's not even get started on the ethical questions. Because nothing says, we care about justice, quite like a few £100 of explosives. It's like using a chainsaw to cut a birthday cake. Sure, you'll get the job done, but the aftermath is going to be messy.
The U.S. Southern Command claimed these were drug terrorists. Is that a solid justification for such drastic measures?
Well, if we're calling these guys terrorists, I suppose that makes the fast food drive-through a high-stakes diplomatic negotiation. The U.S. is waving around the term drug terrorists like it's a membership card to an exclusive country club, but without the actual proof, it starts sounding a bit like a kid who claims their dog ate their homework. I mean, who wouldn't want to simply declare someone a terrorist and skip all the boring stuff like due process? It's the new trend. Just bomb it and call it a day. Because why build a case when you can just build a reputation of decisive action?
This operation has led to a significant number of casualties. What do you think about the loss of life here?
Ah, yes, the loss of life, a small detail that seems to get a bit overshadowed by the excitement of military action. At least 187 people have bitten the dust because, apparently, collateral damage is just an unfortunate side effect of saving the world one airstrike at a time. It's almost like playing a game of whack-a-mole, but with real people. Sure, it's tragic, but hey, at least they can say they were part of a high-profile operation. It's like having VIP tickets to the concert of chaos. Is there a better way to deal with drug smuggling? Apparently, that question was left off the agenda in favor of fireworks and fanfare.
What's the public reaction been like regarding these airstrikes?
Oh, the public reaction? It's about as varied as opinions on pineapple on pizza. Some folks are waving flags and cheering for the military like it's the 4th of July, while others are clutching their pearls and questioning everything from legality to morality. You've got a real mixed bag there, like a box of chocolates, where some are filled with caramel, and others are just plain nuts. I mean, who knew that blowing things up could split the audience? It's like a reality TV show where everyone's divided over who deserves to go home. Will they receive a standing ovation for bravery or a collective gasp for recklessness? Tune in next week.
Considering the legal implications, do you think these airstrikes will face any repercussions?
Repercussions? Oh, that's the million-dollar question. If there's one thing we know about legal repercussions, it's that they tend to take vacations, much like the lawmakers who enact them. Imagine a courtroom drama where the judge is actually a drone pilot. But seriously, in this complex world of international law, it might take years to untangle the mess made by these airstrikes. It's like trying to return a pair of pants you bought 3 sizes too small. Good luck getting that back without a fight. So while the airstrikes might seem like a surefire way to assert dominance, the legal fallout could be like waiting for a bus that never shows up. So, buckle up, this could be a long ride.
Finally, do you think there's a better approach to dealing with drug smuggling than airstrikes?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many ways to tackle drug smuggling. I mean, have you ever tried talking to people? Crazy concept, right? But hey, diplomacy is so last century. Instead of blowing things up, how about investing in community programs, job creation, and education? But who am I kidding? That sounds far too sensible for a world addicted to dramatic solutions. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet with a wrecking ball. Sure, it gets attention, but it's not exactly a long-term fix. So, let's just keep tossing bombs like they're confetti and hope for the best, because, really, what could go wrong?
So, what's the latest on the situation in Odessa with the relentless strikes?
Ah, the Odessa port, once a picturesque waterfront, now resembles a game of whack-a-mole. Only instead of moles, we have missiles and a whole lot of tension. It's like someone decided to turn up the heat in a hot tub, only to find out it's been set to boiling lava. Reports are coming in. It's like a concert out there, just without the good music and a lot more sirens. So basically, if you're planning a romantic getaway, maybe steer clear unless you have a taste for chaos and mild panic.
What do you think drives these attacks on such a critical location?
Well, it seems like a great idea to target a port that's vital for trade. I mean, who doesn't love a good economic blockade? It's like deciding to punch a hole in a lifeboat while you're already in turbulent waters. I guess someone thought, why let them enjoy their sea view when we can add a little drama? Maybe they're hoping their artistic expression will make it to the next art exhibit. Destruction and the Sea. A love story.
How have local residents been coping with the escalating tensions?
Oh, just your typical day in a war zone. Dodge the missiles, sip some coffee, rinse and repeat. It's like living in a real-life video game, but instead of level up, they're just trying to stay alive. Residents have become experts in the fine art of living under constant threat. They probably even have a survival guide titled, How to Keep Your Sanity While the Sky is Falling. Spoiler alert, it involves a lot of chocolate and binge-watching terrible reality shows.
What impact do these strikes have on international relations?
Well, it's a delicate dance, much like trying to juggle flaming swords while riding a unicycle. One wrong move, and you've got countries pointing fingers and trading verbal jabs, like they're in a political boxing match. If I were a diplomat right now, I'd probably be Googling how to defuse a tantrum and hoping it doesn't involve actual weapons. It's almost as if the world leaders are all sitting around a campfire, singing Kumbaya. But one guy shows up with a tambourine and starts throwing marshmallows at everyone.
Is there any hope for a resolution in the near future?
Hope for a resolution? That's a tough one, like finding a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is on fire, and the needle is also kind of angry. Every time it looks like there's a chance for peace, someone throws a wrench in the machine, and suddenly we're back to square one, except now it's a much messier square with more debris. At this rate, the peace talks might need their own Kickstarter campaign to get off the ground. Help us find common ground, one snack at a time.
What should we be watching for in the coming days?
Ah, the crystal ball question. Well, keep an eye out for any diplomatic summits, spontaneous ceasefires that last approximately 5 minutes, and probably a lot of social media posts that could rival any soap opera. It's like waiting for the next season of your favorite show. You know there's going to be drama, cliffhangers, and somebody's probably getting written off the show. Just remember, whatever happens, it'll be so sensational that even your mom's Facebook posts will seem tame in comparison.
Colombian President Gustavo Petro recently made a bold statement about mercenaries dying in Ukraine. What exactly did he say?
Oh, just your typical day at the office for world leaders. He essentially said that 7,000 trained Colombian soldiers are off fighting a war in a country they likely can't even find on a map, and that their deaths are completely pointless. It's like buying a ticket to a movie you know is going to be terrible, and then complaining about the popcorn quality. He stressed that Colombia won't be exporting death, which honestly sounds like a more humane version of what the fast food industry does every day.
What does President Petro mean by saying Colombia won't export death?
Well, it's kind of like saying, we're not going to sell you a lemon of a car that breaks down the moment you drive it off the lot. I mean, who would want that? Apparently some Colombians thought they'd give mercenary life a go. But Petro's like, hey, that's not who we are. It's not exactly the kind of business model you want to promote, right? If you're going to export something, how about coffee? Or even those beautiful emeralds? Anything but a body bag.
So, why does he emphasize that mercenary activities are illegal in Colombia?
Ah, a classic case of politician doublespeak. It's like saying that robbing a bank is frowned upon while the cashiers are throwing money at you. He's trying to remind everyone that while some folks are out there donning camo and pretending they're in a first-person shooter game, the law back home says, nope, not today. You can't just sign up for a violent vacation and expect the government to provide the sunscreen. It's a poignant reminder that not all heroics are recognized, especially when they involve breaking international law.
What might be the implications of this statement for Colombian soldiers?
Well, let's just say it's like a parent catching their kid raiding the cookie jar and declaring, not in my house. If I were a Colombian soldier contemplating a mercenary career, I'd be rethinking my life choices like a contestant on a reality show, facing elimination. The implication is clear. Enter the world of mercenaries, and you may come home in a flag-draped box, all while the president is busy doing damage control on social media. It's a tough gig, and honestly, not the kind of after-school job you'd want to put on your resume.
How do you think the international community is reacting to President Petro's remarks?
Oh, I can only imagine the eye rolls and collective sighs from diplomats around the world. It's like that one friend who keeps reminding everyone not to text their ex at 2 a.m. We get it, but really? The international community is probably shuffling papers and saying things like, well, there goes our chance to recruit Colombian mercenaries for the next big action movie. But let's be real, they're likely relieved that Colombia is distancing itself from the chaos. It's like watching a bad reality show unfold and finally realizing you can change the channel.
What are the broader implications for Colombia's military involvement abroad?
Bigger picture? It's like a high school kid trying to find their identity in a sea of cliques. Colombia is saying, we're not those guys, while other countries are off flexing their muscle and sending troops like it's some sort of international fitness competition. Colombia is taking the high road, waving the no mercenaries sign. It's all about branding now. Look, we're the peaceful ones. Meanwhile, they're probably just hoping that those soldiers come home, rather than joining an unfortunate chapter in a history book titled, What Not to Do When You're Desperate for Adventure.
So, Trump is claiming he has a strong relationship with China, despite the rising tensions. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's like saying I have a strong relationship with my dentist, because I bravely confront him every 6 months for a cleaning. Sure, there's tension, but we're all just trying to avoid a painful extraction, right? And Trump, bless his golden locks, seems to think that his strong relationship means a friendly game of golf while the world is on fire. I mean, if the stakes were any higher, we'd need a fire extinguisher instead of a golf cart.
He mentioned that fighting is not better than peace. How does that resonate in today's world?
Well, isn't that just a profound revelation? Fighting is like trying to get a cat to take a bath. It's just messy and everyone ends up unhappy. Peace, on the other hand, is like finding a 20 in an old coat pocket, unexpectedly delightful. But let's be honest, in the political ring, peace often gets knocked out by the heavyweight champion called ego. So, while Trump is waving the peace flag, we might just want to keep an eye on the boxing gloves in the corner.
Trump said now the tables have turned on China. What's your take on that?
Yes, the classic look at how the tables have turned move. It's like a game of musical chairs, but instead of chairs, we've got economic sanctions and trade wars. One moment, China is the kid with the game console that everyone wants, and the next, they're the Girl Scouts selling cookies to the politicians. But hey, relationships can be complicated. Just like trying to assemble IKEA furniture. One wrong move, and suddenly you're fighting over who gets the last cookie.
He also mentioned countries like Venezuela and Iran. What's relevant about those examples?
Yes, the classic Trump move. Divert attention by throwing in some international hot potatoes. Venezuela and Iran are like the wild cousins at the family reunion who bring all the drama. Sure, they've had some issues. But comparing them to China is like saying, your house cat is the same as a lion because they both have whiskers. Just because they've faced their own set of interesting challenges doesn't mean China is suddenly going to start taking notes from their playbook. That would be like letting a toddler drive just because they can reach the steering wheel.
Do you think Trump's optimism about China is warranted?
Optimism about China from Trump is like a blind date who shows up wearing socks with sandals and insists they're the next big thing in fashion. You can't help but admire the confidence, but you also have to question the judgment. Sure, there's always hope for a peace treaty or a mutual understanding, but given the history of their relationship, it might be easier to teach a goldfish to ride a bicycle. So, let's just say his optimism is commendable, but probably better suited for a Hallmark movie than global politics.
Finally, what do you think the long-term impact of these statements will be?
The long-term impact will probably be as clear as mud. It's like trying to predict the weather in Texas. One minute it's sunny, and the next, a tornado's rolling through. Trump's statements could either end up as a delightful sunny day of peace, or a stormy night of chaos. Either way, we'll be here with popcorn, watching the drama unfold like a reality TV show. I just hope they throw in a few water balloons to lighten the mood.
So Nicolás Maduro's court hearing has been postponed. What can you tell us about this shocking development for Venezuela's controversial leader?
Absolutely shocking. I mean, who wouldn't want to keep a world leader like Maduro waiting in suspense? It's like telling a kid that the ice cream truck has broken down right before their birthday party. The judge, Alvin Hellerstein, must think he's hosting a reality show called Survivor, Courtroom Edition. What's next? A dramatic cliffhanger with a twist ending? I can just see Maduro showing up with popcorn, ready for the next episode while his legal team scrambles like squirrels in traffic. Meanwhile, the world is just here, popcorn in hand, wondering if this whole thing is just a long-running telenovela.
What do you think this postponement means for Maduro and his legal team?
Well, for Maduro and his legal team, it's like giving a cat a second chance to jump out of the window after it just landed on the neighbor's prized roses. They've now got more time to comb through evidence, which seems perfect, because a good legal strategy is like a good recipe. It takes a pinch of time, a dash of creativity, and a whole pot of let's hope nobody checks the fridge for expired ingredients. Their defense must be strategizing, like chess grandmasters, while the rest of us are still trying to figure out where the rooks go.
How critical is this additional time for the defense?
It's as critical as a lifeguard at a dog paddling contest.
This extra time is like that last-minute cramming session before finals. Except instead of just failing a test, they could be failing to keep a leader out of a very warm, very uncomfortable cell. Think of it as a final exam where the stakes are slightly higher, like a bit of international politics being at play. They're probably imagining it as a return of the Jedi scenario, hoping to pull off a last-minute rescue before it turns into a tragedy worthy of Shakespeare.
What do you think the public reaction will be to this news?
The public reaction is going to be about as enthusiastic as a cat at a dog show. People love drama, and when it comes to Maduro, it's like a never-ending soap opera with plot twists that could make a telenovela writer weep tears of envy. Expect social media to blow up with memes faster than you can say not guilty. Everyone's going to have their popcorn ready, waiting to see if this court case is going to be a courtroom drama or merely a prolonged game of courtroom hopscotch.
What implications could this have for Venezuela?
Well, this could either be the start of a miraculous comeback story or another episode of How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. If the court decides to play nice, it might give Maduro a chance to strut back home like a peacock claiming victory. If things don't go well, let's just say it could lead to a lot of head-scratching in Caracas, as politicians try to shuffle the deck of cards again. It's like a bad game of Monopoly, where the banker just keeps passing go and collecting $200, all while the rest of the players are left wondering if they've landed on boardwalk or a free parking space.
What's next for Maduro after this hearing?
If I had a crystal ball, I'd say it's either a victory lap around Venezuela or a carefully orchestrated exit strategy that involves a lengthy vacation, preferably somewhere with no extradition treaties. I mean, who wouldn't want to check into a swanky resort after a court appearance? But knowing Maduro, it might just be another press conference where he explains how it's all a conspiracy against him. Because let's be real, nothing says, "I'm innocent," like blaming everyone else. It's like watching a magician insist that the rabbit just jumped into the hat all by itself. One can only hope the audience has a sense of humor.
So, in breaking news, we have a deadly fireworks explosion in China, claiming 26 lives, and gunfire erupting near the White House. Can you unpack that for us?
Oh sure, because what could be more American than a good old-fashioned fireworks show gone wrong? It's like China decided to host the world's worst 4th of July, but with a much higher body count. You know, it's almost comforting in a way to think that no matter where we are in the world, people can still find a way to ruin a perfectly good celebration. And as for the gunfire near the White House, I can't help but wonder if it's just the neighbors getting a little too enthusiastic about their own fireworks display. I mean, nothing says we have great national security quite like gunfire ringing out where the president lives. Makes you question if we need more security or just better neighbors.
What are your thoughts on the fact that the number of injured has also risen to 61 in the China fireworks incident?
Ah yes, the injury count always seems to follow the body count like a sad little puppy, doesn't it? It's like the universe's way of saying, hey, not only did people die, but plenty of others are going to suffer in agony too. It's almost as if they were handing out participation trophies for total disaster. Who knew a simple fireworks display could become a competitive sport? Next time, maybe they should stick to sparklers. At least those have a lower casualty rate and won't give you PTSD along with your burnt eyebrows.
And shifting gears a bit, what's your take on the Colombian president's comments about mercenaries dying in Ukraine?
Well, isn't that just the cherry on top of the geopolitical sundae? It's like he's saying, congratulations, you signed up for a job in a war zone and got yourself killed. What a surprise. It's almost like a bizarre job advertisement. Wanted, mercenary, must have a high tolerance for danger and an even higher chance of dying for someone else's cause. I could sworn that was on the reasons to look for work list. It's easy to lament the loss, but when you sign up for chaos, sometimes you get chaos. Maybe they should have read the fine print. Side effects may include actual death and existential dread.
The FSB has arrested a resident of Donetsk for treason. What's your perspective on that?
Ah, the delightful world of espionage. It's like a real-life episode of Caught on Camera, but with a lot more mustaches and way less dramatic music. You have to love how the FSB can turn being a local into a treasonous act faster than I can brew a cup of coffee. I mean, who knew that just living in Donetsk came with such high stakes? They probably have a whole How to Spot a Traitor handbook, which I'd love to get my hands on because it sounds like a riveting read. Perhaps next, they'll start arresting folks for not recycling properly. Let's keep that treason train rolling.
Finally, what do you make of the gunfire incident near the White House, leaving both a suspect and a bystander injured?
Well, nothing screams this is normal, like bullets flying near the president's house, am I right? It's like living in an action movie, but instead of Jason Bourne, you've got a guy who just forgot his keys and decided to create a diversion. I can just picture someone yelling, "Hey, the White House isn't your personal shooting range. I mean, isn't the Secret Service supposed to turn that area into Fort Knox?" But it seems they missed the memo on no shooting zones. Maybe they were too busy planning the next state dinner with a side of, "Who's bringing the popcorn for this drama?"
So, tragic news today. The death toll has risen to 26 in that devastating Chinese fireworks factory explosion. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, isn't that just the cherry on top of an already explosive cake? I mean, when you mix fireworks and a factory setting, it's like inviting a lion to a petting zoo. Naturally, things are bound to go up in flames, literally. And let's not even get started on the fact that 61 people are injured, which is basically a small town's worth of potential firework enthusiasts on a very bad day. Honestly, it's like they were trying to launch a paintball party in the middle of a gas station.
What do you think about the safety regulations in facilities like these?
Oh, safety regulations in a fireworks factory? That's like putting a lifeguard on duty at a shark convention. It's a nice idea, but let's face it, nobody's really paying attention until someone ends up splattered all over the wall. Figuratively speaking, of course. I mean, where do we even start? They probably had the "you light it, you buy it" policy, and by the looks of it, they took that a bit too seriously.
How do you think this will impact the fireworks industry in China?
Impact? It's going to be like a bad breakup where everyone's left with burnt fingers and a sad song on repeat. In the aftermath of this disaster, folks are going to be tiptoeing around anything that even remotely resembles a firecracker, like they're walking through a minefield. I wouldn't be surprised if they start handing out pamphlets on how to celebrate without explosives, because, that's a totally normal thing to do.
Do you think there will be major changes in safety regulations after this incident?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they'll probably hold a few meetings, throw around some catchy slogans, and then, inevitably, go back to business as usual. Because nothing says "we care" like a PowerPoint presentation followed by soggy sandwiches in a windowless conference room. Am I right? Sure, they'll add more signs, and maybe even install a few smoke detectors that no one will check, but we all know that, unless someone's truly held accountable, it's basically just window dressing for a flaming dumpster.
What do you make of the government's response to this tragedy?
Ah, the government response. The classic dance of "we're so sorry" followed by a flurry of press conferences that sound like a bad script from a reality TV show. I mean, it's like they want us to feel better with their heartfelt gestures, while they're likely still figuring out how to make their next We Care commercial. Meanwhile, families are left grasping at straws, and the officials are probably just trying to figure out how to sweep this under the rug without anyone noticing. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but the rabbit is actually just a bunch of red tape.
What lessons can we take from this tragedy moving forward?
Lessons? Oh, we've got a whole curriculum to study here. First up, fireworks, not just for New Year's Eve. Next, we'll throw in a course on how to avoid exploding your business, with a side of read the danger signs, folks. Honestly, we could use a good dose of common sense that seems to have been left at the last holiday sale. But it's all about learning to dodge the fireworks instead of diving into the pyrotechnics, right? Just a little bit of caution can go a long way, unless you're still operating under the assumption that safety is just for the overly cautious.
So, it seems like Ukraine is facing quite the drone delivery service problem, huh? What's the latest on that?
Oh, just your average Tuesday in Ukraine where drones are delivering destruction like Amazon Prime on a mission. Who needs package tracking when you can just hear the ominous drone buzz signaling the arrival of chaos? Apparently, some regions like Kiev, Vyshgorod, and even the oil depot in Dnepropetrovsk are now on fire, giving a whole new meaning to hot delivery. It's not just dinner that's getting grilled these days, folks. It's a full-on culinary nightmare of explosions and smoke.
With all these attacks, how are the citizens managing in this chaotic environment?
Well, I'm pretty sure they've developed a new game called Dodge the Drone, which is sort of like a twisted version of tag, but with a lot more high stakes. And let's not forget the neighborhood barbecue. A little less about grilling sausages, and a lot more about avoiding the fiery explosions from above. I mean, talk about a daily dose of adrenaline for the families. Who needs theme parks when you've got live-action survival scenarios unfolding in your backyard?
What can you tell us about the regions outside Kiev that are also in the line of fire?
Oh, the regions are having a party? Everyone's invited. Chernigov, Kharkov, and Sumy have decided that it's not just Kiev that gets to be the center of attention. They're jumping in on the fun too. It's like a bad sitcom, where every neighborhood wants its moment in the spotlight, only instead of laughter, we get explosions. If they had a loyalty program for drone strikes, I'm pretty sure these places would be getting gold stars for participation.
And what's the reaction from the international community regarding these events?
Ah, the international community. Always the well-meaning relatives who flinch at the family drama, but never really intervene. They've probably sent out a few tweets expressing their concern, which, let's be honest, is about as comforting as a lukewarm cup of coffee. They're likely sitting in their plush offices, contemplating sending aid, while wondering how to best phrase their next press release. Because nothing says "we care" like a well-crafted statement, right?
How are the military strategies evolving in response to these drone attacks?
Oh, the military is likely strategizing, like chess players who are suddenly thrown into a game of dodgeball. Do we counter with missiles or just run away screaming? I mean, they're probably rethinking what was once a surveillance approach into something more akin to survival of the fittest. Let's just hope they don't accidentally text the enemy their battle plans while trying to strategize over coffee.
Finally, any predictions on what might happen next in Ukraine?
Predicting the future of Ukraine right now is like trying to guess what's in a mystery box on a game show. You might end up with a shiny new car or a three-legged goat. If history has taught us anything, it's that things might get more complicated before they get simpler. But one thing's for sure. The drama is bound to continue, and at this rate, they might as well start casting for the next big blockbuster action film. With plot twists like this, Hollywood would be jealous.
So, Brazil's presidential candidate, Flavio Bolsonaro, has condemned Iran's attacks on the UAE. What's the story behind that?
Ah, yes. Flavio Bolsonaro, our friendly neighborhood Brazilian senator, has decided to jump into the international political ring faster than a cat on a hot tin roof. Apparently, he saw Iran tossing firecrackers at civilian areas in the UAE and thought, that's as sensible as sending a vegan to a barbecue. So, in a stunning show of solidarity, he slapped a statement together quicker than I can burn popcorn in the microwave. He called the attacks unprovoked and absurd, which, let's be honest, was about as groundbreaking as me declaring that broccoli is not pizza.
What exactly did Bolsonaro say in his statement about the attacks?
Oh, just the usual diplomatic flair. He expressed solidarity with the UAE, which in political speak usually means I'm going to pretend to care while I watch more Netflix. He mentioned the basic principles of international law, probably as a reminder that some folks think they can just toss the rule book out the window, like last year's fashion. And he concluded that these actions must be firmly rejected by all who guard order and peace, which means he's ready to put down his caipirinha and stand up for justice, at least until it's time for carnival.
How has the international community reacted to this situation?
Well, if I had $1 for every time the international community reacted with a collective shrug, I'd be richer than Jeff Bezos. The global response has been about as unified as a group of cats trying to agree on where to nap. Some leaders are like, "Sure, Flavio, good on you," while others are whispering behind closed doors, "Let's not poke the bear that is Iran, shall we?" It's like watching a high school debate team tackle world diplomacy. Lots of noise, minimal commitment, and just a sprinkle of teenage angst.
Why should we even care about this statement from a Brazilian politician?
Ah, yes, the age-old question. Why should I care about the opinions of a guy who probably wears flip-flops to meetings? Well, dear listener, you should care because geopolitics is like a never-ending soap opera, and every little plot twist counts. Bolsonaro's statement may appear as trivial as deciding where to eat dinner, but it actually adds some spice to the diplomatic stew. Also, it reminds us that politics is essentially a game of musical chairs. Everyone's trying to position themselves in case the music stops, and someone ends up with a front-row seat to chaos.
Are there any implications for Brazil's foreign policy moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. It's like watching a toddler with a crayon scribble on a world map. Bolsonaro's bold declaration could either position Brazil as a self-styled peacemaker or just another voice in the cacophonous chorus of international finger-pointing. Depending on how he plays his cards, we might see Brazil trying to shake hands and kiss babies in the Middle East, or we might just end up watching him take a nap while everyone else sorts out the mess. Let's just say, Brazil's foreign policy is about as predictable as my dog's reaction to a squirrel.
What do you think Bolsonaro hopes to achieve with his statement?
Well, if I had to take a guess, I'd say it's all about name recognition. Bolsonaro probably thought, if I publicly denounce Iran, maybe I'll get a glowing mention in next year's World Politics magazine. It's like trying to become the prom king of international relations. Just enough drama to make headlines, but not too much that you end up in the principal's office. He's likely hoping to bolster his image back home, make his constituents feel all warm and fuzzy about their leader being a man of principles, while secretly hoping for a donation or two from the UAE. Classic political maneuvering, right?
So, it looks like Indonesia's Semeru volcano just decided to have a bit of a tantrum, erupting to heights of 4.6 kilometers with a jaw-dropping 9 explosive events. How does that translate into a typical day in volcano news?
Ah, yes, the classic volcano throws a party scenario. I mean, who doesn't love a good eruption? It's like nature decided to play a game of how high can you go, but forgot that some guests prefer a quieter evening. 9 explosive events? That's not just a tantrum, that's a full-on volcanic midlife crisis. You'd think after all these years, Semeru would learn to curb its enthusiasm, and maybe just stick to a nice smoke and mirrors routine. But no, it's out there, belching ash and dust like it's auditioning for a role in a disaster movie.
What kind of impact can such an eruption have on daily life for the local residents?
Well, if you thought dealing with your in-laws was tough, try living under a volcano that's having a bad day. The ash cloud is basically nature's way of saying, surprise, here's some free fertilizer, just a bit too much. People will be digging their cars out like they just got back from a ski trip and wondering why all the sunshine got replaced by something that looks like last week's laundry. Schools? Closed? Work? Postponed. Honestly, it's like a mandatory vacation, except instead of a beach, you get a cloud of ash and a side of panic. It's always fun until someone takes it too far.
How does the scientific community gauge the seriousness of these eruptions?
Oh, they have all sorts of fancy gadgets and gizmos that look like they belong in a sci-fi movie. They monitor seismic activity, gas emissions, and even have a calendar dedicated to it. I mean, who needs a social life when you can anticipate volcanic eruptions, right? They basically act like volcano whisperers, trying to interpret the volcanic grumbling like it's an ancient prophecy. Oh, the ground shakes at 3 a.m. That must mean dinner is going to be explosive tonight. It's like being a parent, but instead of a toddler, you're dealing with a geological giant that thinks any tantrum is a reason to blow off steam.
What precautions do authorities take when an eruption seems imminent?
You'd think they'd set up a massive lava party sign and invite everyone, but no, they pull out the big guns, evacuation plans, emergency kits, you name it. They're basically like overly cautious parents who think their kids need to wear helmets while sitting on the couch. Evacuating an area? It's like herding cats, but instead of a simple "come here," you get people saying, "No, I can't leave my garden gnome." They cordon off areas, set up warning systems, and maybe even enlist the help of local cats to bring some order into the chaos. Because if there's one thing those felines can do, it's figuring out when to run from danger.
What role do social media and the news play during such eruptions?
Oh, social media is like the hyperactive kid at the school play. It can either steal the show or create total chaos. You get live feeds of the volcano, dramatic selfies with ash clouds, and of course, the inevitable memes like, when your volcano friend erupts, but you just wanted a chill day. News outlets are scrambling to cover every detail, turning reports into the next biggest reality show, Survivor, Volcano Edition. It's all about clicks and views, so expect a hot take on the hot lava. Social platforms become battlegrounds of opinions, where keyboard warriors try to outwit each other on who's more prepared for the next bout of molten rock.
What's the takeaway for travelers considering Indonesia, especially with its volcanoes?
Well, if you're looking for a tropical paradise, Indonesia is fantastic. Just remember to pack a little extra caution. It's like buying a ticket to a roller coaster. You know there will be ups and downs, but you didn't expect the volcano to throw in a surprise eruption. Your adventure may include everything from beach lounging to ash dodging in less than 12 hours. So, bring your sunscreen, but also pack a gas mask because you might just find a beach day turning into a lava run challenge faster than you can say, "I should've just stayed home." A little bit of excitement never hurt anyone. Unless it's a molten rock kind of excitement.
So, it seems a helicopter in Mexico experienced a pretty dramatic engine failure and had to make an emergency landing. How did the crew manage to pull that off without any casualties?
Well, the crew must have been channeling their inner action movie heroes. You know, the ones who can save the day even when their ride starts making ominous wheezing, sounds like my grandma's old lawnmower. I mean, they really should get a medal for not turning that helicopter into an oversized paperweight mid-air. It's like 1 minute they're flying high, and the next, they're thinking, "Anyone else smell burnt toast? Or is that just me?" Thank goodness they landed it without becoming the world's most expensive lawn decoration.
What do you think caused the engine failure in the first place?
The million-dollar question. It's like asking why a cat decides to knock over your coffee during a Zoom call. It's just in their nature, but in helicopter terms, could be anything from bad maintenance to just the universe deciding it needed a good laugh. "Hey, let's see what happens when we turn the engines off mid-flight," said no aviation engineer ever. It's much akin to your car deciding to take a spontaneous vacation while you're on a road trip. You never know until it happens, and suddenly, you're standing on the side of the road, bartering with your conscience.
How do you think this incident will affect public perception of helicopter safety in Mexico?
Oh, it's going to be the topic at every taco stand for the next month. Did you hear about the chopper that decided it wanted to participate in a surprise landing exercise? It's like turning a routine flight into a theme park ride gone wrong. People will start questioning if their next helicopter ride will come complete with parachutes and a complimentary life jacket. But really, if flying in a helicopter gives you more anxiety than picking up your in-laws from the airport, it might just be time to stick to good old-fashioned taxis or tricycles.
What do you think the crew will take away from this experience?
Well, besides the obvious need for a strong drink afterwards, they probably learned a valuable lesson about keeping their cool under pressure. I mean, who knew that flying a helicopter could also double as an impromptu audition for Survivor? Helicopter edition? They'll likely go home with great stories to tell, like, "Remember that time our helicopter went rogue? I swear my heart was doing the cha-cha." It's the kind of experience that transforms you from a regular pilot into a legend in your friend's group chat.
Are there any lessons that the aviation industry can learn from this incident?
Oh, absolutely. They should probably start with the motto, "If it's making weird noises, land it." It's like a marriage. When things get shaky, sometimes you just need to have a serious talk and not ignore the signs. Maybe some extra training, where pilots learn to recognize engine sounds that resemble a cat coughing up a hairball. Seriously, they could even create a playlist, Sounds of Trouble, to help them identify when something's not right. Because let's face it, ignoring the weird clunking and grinding noises is like playing a game of roulette with your life.
What's next for the crew and the helicopter after this incident?
Well, the crew will probably go through a debriefing where they discuss their near miss and how not to make it a habit. They'll be like, "Okay, so the helicopter decides to reenact a scene from a disaster movie. What's next on the agenda?" The helicopter, on the other hand, may have to go through more checks than a dentist's office. It'll be getting more attention than your friend who just got engaged on Instagram. So, it's back to the shop for a little R&R, and who knows, maybe it'll come back with a new paint job and a complex about its flight capabilities.
So, it seems that the US is stirring the pot in the Hormuz Strait. Can you elaborate on what's going on with these maritime tensions?
Oh, absolutely. It looks like the US decided to throw a backyard barbecue right in the middle of a hornet's nest. You know, just when everyone was starting to enjoy their energy transit security. Here comes Uncle Sam with a do not enter sign and a megaphone, proclaiming that their way is the only way to party. Apparently, someone thought it would be a good idea to shake things up by breaking a ceasefire, because who doesn't love a good drama, right? It's as if they believe that stability is just one tall order of freedom fries away.
How do you think Iran is responding to these provocations from the US?
Oh, they're responding with all the flair of a soap opera star. I imagine it's like watching a dramatic monologue from a Shakespearean villain. The Iranian spokesperson, Ghalibaf, is probably sipping on some tea while delivering lines about American schemes that are destined to fail. Very poetic if you ask me. It's like they're in a never-ending game of chess, and the US keeps playing checkers, thinking it can just jump over pieces without any real strategy. Spoiler alert, it's not going to end well for them.
What implications could this have for global energy markets?
Oh boy, hold on to your hats, because the implications are about as welcome as a skunk at a garden party. If the Hormuz Strait turns into a carnival of chaos, we might just see energy prices skyrocket faster than your favorite roller coaster. You see, about 1/5 of the world's oil passes through that strait, so you can imagine the headlines. Gas prices rise, consumers left weeping. It's like a game of musical chairs, but with oil tankers and a lot more shouting. And really, who doesn't want to live in a world where your morning coffee costs as much as a luxury yacht?
What role do international alliances play in this situation?
International alliances. Those charming but often dysfunctional relationships that are akin to a group of friends deciding on a restaurant. Everyone has an opinion, but no one can agree. In this case, you've got the US trying to rally the troops, while other countries are probably just eyeing the situation like a cat would eye a laser pointer. Entertaining, but they're not about to get up from their comfy spot. So, as alliances form and crumble like a bad soufflé, one has to wonder if anyone is actually taking this seriously, or if they're just waiting for the next season of geopolitical drama to unfold.
Do you think this conflict could escalate further?
Oh, absolutely. This is the kind of situation that could escalate faster than your friend getting overdramatic at a karaoke night. You know, one minute we're all singing Kumbaya, and the next someone's belting out endless love, but with a twist, death threats and submarine maneuvers. It's like watching a toddler with a magnifying glass and some ants. You just know something's about to get roasted. So yes, buckle up folks, because this roller coaster has no safety bar, and we're headed for some wild, unexpected drops.
What can civilians do to stay informed amid all this chaos?
Well, civilians can do what they do best. Scroll through their phones while pretending to be experts. I mean, who needs academic degrees when you can get your news from social media updates and witty memes? It's like a game of news roulette. You spin it and hope for the best. But let's not forget actual news sources. Those people are still out there, sweating it out like they're training for the Olympics, trying to find the truth amidst all the noise. So, keep your ears open, your thumbs ready to click, and remember, knowledge is power, or at least a good conversation starter at the next social gathering.
So, it seems like the Labour Party is hiding Keir Starmer because they're afraid he might be the kiss of death for their election campaign. What's going on here?
Yes. It's like hiding the family's embarrassing uncle at a wedding, because he's known to mix up his drink with the punch and then throw a tantrum. Starmer has apparently become so unpopular that even the most devout Labor supporters are treating him like a toxic waste spill. Nobody wants to be near it. I mean, when your own party members are whispering behind closed doors that they'd rather take a selfie with a cardboard cutout than have him on stage, you know things have taken a turn for the worse. It's like having a cheerleader who can't cheer, just awkwardly standing there clapping with two left feet. How did this happen? Did he accidentally tweet something more embarrassing than those high school photos they promised to delete?
What do you think contributed to Starmer being viewed as toxic in the first place?
Oh, just the usual charm of being a politician. I mean, what's not to love about someone who's described as two-faced? It's like ordering a double cheeseburger when you're on a diet, deliciously misleading. Starmer has managed to be so disingenuous that even his shadow probably has trust issues. There's just something about him that screams, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time." But unfortunately, it seems to apply more to his political support than his actual time in office. When the biggest question around you is whether you can keep your job till the next family reunion, or in this case, the next election, you know you're not winning any popularity contests. I'd say Starmer's charm is reminiscent of expired milk. Nobody's really excited about it, and it's just a matter of time before the smell drives everyone away.
How do you think this will affect the Labour Party's chances in the upcoming elections?
Oh, it's going to be as smooth as a roller coaster ride in an earthquake. The Labour Party is facing the kind of pressure that makes a soda can feel before it explodes. If they really believe Starmer is the secret sauce to winning over voters, someone better find the antidote, because right now, he's more like a bad case of food poisoning. Losing 2,000 council seats? That's like showing up to a potluck and realizing you forgot the main dish while everyone else brought homemade lasagna. They're in serious trouble. The only thing holding them up may just be the amount of flabbergasted expressions on their supporters' faces. It's like watching a game of musical chairs where nobody wants to sit down because the chair is on fire.
With Starmer being sidelined, how is the Labour Party planning to campaign effectively?
Well, when you've got a leader who's as welcome at campaign events as a spam email in your inbox, you start to think outside the box. I mean, they might have to resort to using sock puppets for public appearances at this point. At least those would be more relatable. Or they could just hire a parrot that squawks "Vote Labor." Much more charming and less likely to assertively dodge questions. Without Starmer on the front lines, it's like they're playing hide and seek in a dark room with no flashlights. They might have to bring in someone from the sidelines to save the day, or at least keep the crowd entertained while they figure out how to make lemonade out of their quite sour lemons.
What would you say to the critics who say Labour needs Starmer to avoid a meltdown?
Oh, bless their hearts. That's like saying a car needs a broken steering wheel to navigate through a traffic jam. Sure, there might be a belief that having Starmer on board will prevent them from crashing, but let's be real. He's like a really bad GPS that keeps saying recalculating at the worst possible moments. The critics might argue he's the glue holding the party together, but honestly, it feels more like he's the glue that's expired and now just slightly gooey and ineffective. At this rate, Labour might just need to rally a full-on circus act with jugglers and clowns to distract the public from the real issues. Starmer or no Starmer?
What's the outlook for the Labour Party if they continue with this strategy?
Well, if they keep hiding Starmer, it's like playing poker with your cards face up, while hoping the other players are too busy looking at their phones to notice. There's a fine line between keeping your leader out of sight and making it seem like you have something to hide, and right now, it's a delicate balancing act. If they're not careful, they could end up as the punchline in a political joke. What's the difference between Labour and a ghost? One is a party that's losing its way, and the other is, well, a ghost. They're flirting with disaster if they think this strategy is going to save them from poor electoral outcomes. They might just end up needing to hire a crystal ball reader to predict their future. Because let's face it, their current tactics are looking about as promising as a rain dance in a drought.
So, I hear the Handala hacker group just leaked secrets about 400 high-ranking US Navy officers. What do you make of that?
Ah yes, the Handala hacker group, the new kids on the cyberblock, decided to throw a digital house party and invited themselves to the Navy's top secret files. You know, it's like when your neighbor finds out you have a giant inflatable flamingo in your pool, and suddenly, you're the talk of the town. Apparently, they now have the Navy's schedule, as if they're breaking into a Hollywood script and yelling, "Surprise! We know what's happening next." You have to hand it to them. They've really taken keeping tabs to a whole new level. It's almost impressive, but also really scary, like finding out your grandma is a TikTok influencer.
What does this mean for the security of military operations in the Persian Gulf?
Well, if you were a Navy officer right now, I'd say you might want to invest in a good tinfoil hat, buddy. The Persian Gulf is suddenly looking less like a strategic waterway and more like a scene from an espionage sitcom where no one can keep their secrets straight. It's like leaving a box of donuts out in the break room and then being surprised when everyone dives in. Of course, someone's going to take a bite. With the Handala group boasting about tracking every vessel like it's a high-stakes game of battleship, you have to wonder if they're planning a Fleet Week parade or just keeping tabs on how many ships are actually out there. Spoiler alert, they're probably not here to join the Navy.
Could this be a wake-up call for military cybersecurity practices?
Oh, absolutely. If this isn't the cyber equivalent of screaming fire in a crowded theater, I don't know what is. You'd think the military would have tighter security than a squirrel guarding its acorn stash, but here we are. It's like they left the gates wide open, waved at the hackers and said, "Hey, come on in, the Wi-Fi is free." This whole debacle could lead to more red tape than a government office in January. I mean, maybe now they'll finally stop using the same password for everything, which at this point might be 123456 or password 123. Real brain busters there.
What can the public expect from the Navy following this breach?
Well, if history tells us anything, it's that the Navy might just start a new PR campaign that involves them riding around in a giant inflatable duck, singing, "We're sorry," to anyone within earshot. They'll probably ramp up their activities by throwing out more press releases than a teenager does social media posts about their bao last meal. Expect them to reassure us that they're taking this seriously, while also attending endless committee meetings that go nowhere faster than a submarine in a kiddie pool. They might even start handing out "I survived a major data breach" stickers at the next recruitment drive. Because that's how you win hearts and minds these days, right?
Do you think this hacker group is a serious threat, or are they just looking for attention?
Ah, the age-old question. Are they the digital equivalent of a lion, or just a scrappy house cat on the internet looking for some likes? My bet is on the latter. They're probably sitting in a basement somewhere, munching on chips and thinking, "Look at us, we're so cool." But remember, a lion can be a threat to the ecosystem, whereas a cat just knocks over your coffee cup and runs away. You know, all bark, no bite. They might have pulled off a major stunt, but are they going to take down a naval fleet? Let's hope not. Otherwise, I might start doubting the wisdom of our naval training programs.
What's your prediction for the future of cybersecurity in militaries around the world?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'd say that the future of cybersecurity looks like it's about to get a whole lot more serious. Picture this: a military that treats its data like it's the last slice of pizza at a party, fiercely guarded and only shared with the utmost discretion. I predict boot camps for cybersecurity will become trendier than yoga retreats, and that they'll hire consultants with more buzzwords than actual expertise. Think of it as a never-ending game of whack-a-mole, where every time they fix one issue, 3 more pop up. Seriously, by the time they're done, they'll probably be running drills involving inflatable ducks, tinfoil hats, and encrypted holograms just to keep things secure.
So, it seems like Russian Garen strikes are causing some serious chaos in Kiev, with explosions shaking multiple regions. What's the latest on that?
Ah, yes, the symphony of explosions as orchestrated by our friends in Russia. It's like they're auditioning for the lead role in a disaster movie. I mean, who needs a peaceful evening when you can have fireworks at night that don't just light up the sky but also set industrial sites aflame? The folks in Vyshhorod are not just dealing with your average Tuesday. They're hosting the hottest fire show this side of the Dnipro River, and only without the friendly popcorn vendor.
What have we heard from Kharkov about these missile attacks?
Oh, Kharkov? They're apparently getting bombarded like it's some sort of twisted reality show where the contestants are trying to see who can endure the most chaos. I mean, a missile attack sounds like the latest in urban renovation techniques, right? It's like if Home Depot started selling explosives as home improvement kits. They just can't catch a break over there, and let's be real. Do you think there's a bomb shelter section at IKEA yet?
And what about the situation in Zaporozhye? Any reports coming from there?
Zaporozhye is experiencing a different kind of fun, with an Iskander missile turning what was once a vacant building into a bonfire night. I guess you could say they finally got their hands on the hottest real estate on the market, except it's not even a good location. And who needs residents when you can just blow up a building that happens to be empty? Sounds like they've got some aggressive urban planning choices occurring there.
There are reports of drone attacks as well, right? How does that play into the chaos?
Oh, absolutely. It's like the Russians decided to upgrade their tech from bigger boom-style warfare to now with drones. It's as if they're trying to find the best use for their remote control toys. Instead of delivering pizza, they're delivering destruction. I can just imagine the strategists sitting around saying, "Let's make air travel a little more explosive." Sure. Who needs safety when you can have flying robots raining chaos down like it's a game of dodgeball at a very intense summer camp?
Any other regions experiencing these strikes, like Chernigov and Sumy?
Oh, Chernigov and Sumy are not getting left out of the action either. It's like a tragic club where membership means dodging missiles instead of just a casual Friday night. I can just picture the locals wistfully reminiscing about the days when the most exciting thing happening was the annual potato festival. At this point, they might want to consider a new tourism slogan: Visit Chernigov, where chaos meets strategy. If there's a silver lining, it's that at least they're all getting a masterclass in crisis management.
With all this turmoil, what can we expect moving forward?
Oh, just a typical Tuesday in the ongoing saga of chaos. Expect more loud noises, strategic explosions, and perhaps a pop quiz on survival skills for the locals. I feel like at this point, we should start a betting pool on which region will be the next to experience a fire drill gone wrong. But let's face it, in this roller coaster ride of a conflict, the only thing we can be sure of is that the drama is far from over, and the popcorn is definitely still on the stove.
So, I hear a Russian citizen was arrested for allegedly collaborating with Ukrainian intelligence. What's the scoop on this shocking betrayal?
Oh, just another normal day in the life of international espionage, where a 21-year-old Russian suddenly decides he's the hero of a spy novel. I mean, who wouldn't want to trade their cozy life in Kursk for the thrilling world of clandestine missions and questionable Wi-Fi connections? Apparently, this guy was lured in by a Ukrainian intelligence officer via Telegram, because nothing says trustworthy, like a chat app known for sharing cat memes and breaking news of global espionage. The FSB caught him in what must have felt like a very intense game of red light, green light, only with less fun and more handcuffs. And let's not forget, the poor guy has just become the poster child for what not to do with your internet browsing history.
What do you make of the method of contacting this individual? Using an app that's famous for memes and chats seems a bit casual for espionage, right?
Absolutely. It's like trying to get military secrets by sending happy birthday wishes on Facebook. I mean, who thought that the secret to international espionage would involve a Telegram group? Next thing you know, we're going to hear about top-secret meetings happening in Minecraft. If you're conducting spies' business over an app that thrives on gifs of dancing cats, you might need to rethink your career choices. It's as if this spy decided to take the casual Friday approach to espionage. One can only imagine how that conversation went. Hey, do you want to help me betray your country? Let's do it over a virtual coffee.
How do you think the FSB feels about this? I imagine they're a bit miffed about being outsmarted through text messages.
Oh, they're probably feeling like a cat who just lost its mouse to a laser pointer. I mean, imagine the meeting where they reviewed this case. Okay, team, we need to address how an officer of Ukrainian intelligence managed to slide into this guy's DMs and lure him into treason. Was there a lack of training? Did someone forget to mention that using emojis during espionage is a no-go? You almost want to send them a sympathy card that says, "Better luck next time." It's a public relations nightmare for the FSB, and they're probably wishing for a time machine to go back to when betrayal was done face-to-face, preferably with intense music playing in the background.
What implications might this arrest have for Russian citizens, particularly the younger generation?
Well, you can bet that this will have the younger crowd deleting Telegram faster than they can say conspiracy theory. I mean, nothing makes you rethink your social media choices like realizing your chat with a mysterious stranger could land you in jail faster than a bad online date. You might see a wave of kids switching from Spying 101 to How to Avoid Arrest courses faster than you can say, take notes. It's like their parents warning them about online predators, except these ones are offering international fame at a price. Good luck explaining to future generations how their friend ended up in the clink, thanks to a questionable app where the most exciting thing normally is sharing memes.
What's the likelihood of this case leading to more arrests in Russia for similar collaborations? Any predictions?
Oh, I'd say the likelihood is about as high as my chances of winning the lottery after forgetting to buy a ticket. But seriously, with the FSB now in full arresting everybody mode, we might see a surge of new treason charges popping up like weeds in a garden. It's almost like an episode of a reality show where people suddenly realize that betrayal can lead to more drama than they bargained for. Expect to see people monitoring their chats like hawks, hoping they don't inadvertently end up on an FSB watch list because they dared to comment on a political meme. If this keeps up, social media in Russia could quickly turn into a game of who can stay under the radar longest. And believe me, that's not the kind of fun you want to have.
Finally, do you think this incident will affect relations between Russia and Ukraine, or is it just business as usual?
Oh, it's definitely going to make things juicier than a soap opera. You know, one moment Russia is giving Ukraine the stink eye, and the next, they're scrambling to deal with their own citizens trying to switch teams on social media. It's like when you realize your neighbor is secretly a spy. Suddenly all those awkward barbecues take on a new meaning. While I wouldn't bet my bottom dollar on a warm and fuzzy reconciliation, the fallout from this could create quite the stir in diplomatic circles. If anything, it's like adding more fuel to the fire, and boy, does that fire have a penchant for drama. So, business as usual? Probably. But a lot more entertaining to watch from the sidelines.